Today is the day. The first ever 12-team playoff kicks off, including our Kansas Jayhawks facing off against the Mustangs of SMU. We've got 4 fun matchups today here to kick off the inaugural 12-team playoff. We have gone through the regular season. We have gone through conference championships. We have revealed our official 12-team bracket. There's nothing to wait for anymore. It's time for the show. We've got 4 really exciting matchups today with Tulane and Texas, Ohio State and Texas A&M, Michigan and Notre Dame, followed by our matchup against SMU. The winners of our games will face off against the combination of Oregon, Georgia, Utah, and Miami in the second round. We'll also briefly touch on the other bowl games that go on across the rest of the nation, but obviously our focus will be on these 4 first-round playoff games, and we're not going to waste any time. Let's get this show on the road and find out who will be making it to the second round of the college football playoff. And we'll start things off in Austin, Texas. Something I like about these first-round playoff games is that they're being played on college campuses. The higher-seeded team gets to host the playoff game, which is really fun, and that's the case for Texas as they face off against Tulane. With the highest-ranked Group 5 conference champion now being guaranteed a spot here in the playoff, I'm very fascinated to see how Tulane's going to perform. They looked awesome in the American Conference Championship game, blowing out Rice 28-0. But this could get south quickly, given how good of the team Texas is. This is just the second time a non-power school, or Notre Dame, has made the playoffs. The first time being Cincinnati in 2021. Things didn't go so well. Let's take a look at Texas, who finishes the season 10-2, coming off a close loss against Texas A&M. They did not go to the conference championship, which could be a blessing in disguise. Gives them an extra week off, but now they're going to have to win this game. Quinn Ewers, the talented quarterback, of course, leads the way, looking to improve his draft stock, and he's got a talented group of weapons with C.J. Baxter and Isaiah Bond leading the way. The defense is quite strong as well. This has been one of the best teams in the nation this year, and a fascinating first game to see how Tulane stacks up. The Green Wave have beaten some good teams this year. They've played against 2 Power 5 opponents and won both of those games. They beat Kansas State, and they beat Oklahoma. You know who lost to Oklahoma this year? Texas. So it's absolutely possible that Tulane gives these guys a real run for their money, but they've got to set the tone, get things rolling quickly. You do not want to fall behind against a team like Texas. And the Longhorns will start with the football. On third down, it's a wheel route. Doesn't get much. Tulane is able to get the stop, and we'll take our first look at the Green Wave offense. Obviously, the defense was the big storyline in the American Conference Championship game, but their offense played well too. They had a strong first drive, but decided to run the ball up the middle on third and somewhat long, and that'll force them to take the points here, go for the field goal. Kick from Ray Knott is good, and the Green Wave scored the very first points of the 2024-25 college football playoff. Just what we imagined 10 years ago when the playoff was first enacted. Eric Hicks Jr. in the backfield with the sack on Ewers, forcing a loss of yardage, and it's now a 2nd and 16. Ewers lobs it up. Downfield, he's got his man. Isaiah Bond is gone. And Texas is on the board with an 84-yard score for the transfer from Alabama. Isaiah Bond with the touchdown for the Longhorns. And Texas now leads 7-3. These are the types of throws that I've been looking for out of Quinn Ewers. I'm still very up and down on his stock. Right now, he looks like a fringe second rounder in our Denver Broncos franchise draft class, but he's got a real shot to up his stock with a good performance today and going forward in the playoff if Texas wins this game. That'll wrap up the first, 7-3. A slow start for the Longhorns, but they get things rolling with the 84-yard touchdown for Isaiah Bond. Into the second quarter now, we'll see how Tulane is able to respond. On 3rd and 3, Thompson is under pressure, and it's Ethan Burke who brings him down, forcing a loss of 6, and Tulane will have to punt it away. Let's take a look at this next Texas drive with an opportunity to make it a 2-score lead. Ewers with no time. He's wrapped up in the backfield. Tulane with the sack of their own on the linebacker blitz. It's Chris Rogers who brings him home. And Tulane gets it back. Remains 7-3. 3rd and 8. Thompson looking for the sideline. Nice throw and catch by Yulkeith Brown for the first down. And Tulane now has it in the red zone. 2nd and goal. Thompson surveys the field. Trips up and is brought down for a loss of yardage. The sack on the play by the talented defensive end Trey Moore, likely to be a high NFL draft pick within the coming seasons, the transfer from UTSA. 3rd and goal, Thompson is sacked again. They tried to go for the screen, but Vernon Broughton brings the heat into the backfield. Tulane held out of the end zone once again, as that brings us to the 2-minute warning here in the first half. And Texas will hold on to their lead. We'll see if Ray Knott can tap on 3 more points. His kick is up. It's a liner, and it is good. So Tulane makes it 7-6. The Green Wave are certainly hanging in there. Minus the one big play they allowed to Bond, the defense has been really good. Batting down that pass from Ewers on 3rd down, and now the Green Wave have a chance to take the lead here in the first half. 2nd and 10. Thompson under pressure. Sacked again. The pass rush getting active for Texas. Their 4th sack of the game. Derek Williams Jr., the sophomore safety, brings him down. And now on 3rd and 23, I wouldn't be surprised to see them just run the ball, try to make Texas burn a timeout, and that's what they'll do. The All-American sophomore running back Mekhi Hughes gets a few. So Texas does get the stop. They call the timeout, and now they're looking to add to their lead. Ewers with a strike on 1st down. It's intercepted. Tulane forces the turnover. Lou Tillery, the native of New Orleans, picks it off, and Tulane gets it back with a chance to take the lead before half. He was looking for Silas Bolden, but Tillery does a good job of jumping the route. He's going to hold the turnover beads, and Tulane has an opportunity, even with just a field goal, to take the lead before half. These guys are really hanging in there. I am impressed with this squad. They've played well against good teams this year, and putting multiple power conference schools on the schedule has clearly prepared them. Thompson with a dot up the field. Big play after the catch. It's Shaz Preston, and he takes it all the way for a score. Tulane takes the lead with a touchdown for the sophomore receiver Shaz Preston, and that'll make it 13-7. Big time throw up the middle by Thompson, and a great play after the catch for Preston. And just like that, Tulane is now ahead 13-7. Not only had the Green Wave come to play, but it looks like they will take a halftime lead unless we get a big play here late from the Longhorns. Up the middle. Nice grab by the tight end, Amari Niblak, for the first down. Now past midfield. 2nd and inches from the 45. Ewers has an open man short, and a nice play after the catch for the running back, Cedric Baxter, who brings it into field goal range. Now from the 23. 3rd and 10 for the Longhorns with 17 to go in the half. Ewers under pressure, rolls to the right, throws it away. Tulane with the stop. They'll hold on to the lead, but it looks like Texas will be able to tack on 3. Burt Auburn on to kick here for the Longhorns. This one from around 40. It is up and through. 13-10 going into half. We've got a really fun start to this game. Again, not only has Tulane looked competitive, but they've been the better team up to this point. Of course, headlined by the big touchdown for Shaz Preston, a 55-yarder. Texas looked good on that last drive, but their offense hasn't had many sustained drives. Their lone score, again, coming off an 84-yard touchdown reception. And while that was an awesome throw, as you can see right here for Quinn Ewers, otherwise, he really hasn't been spectacular in this first half. And of course, the interception late to Lou Tillery was sort of the headline there. Tulane opens up with the football here in the 3rd and an opportunity to add to the lead. Up the middle, Mekhi Hughes gets nothing, maybe a yard or 2 on 3rd down. I think that was Trey Moore who brought him down. On 3rd down, Ewers is incomplete. Tulane with the stop, and Texas is going to have to go for another field goal. This one to tie, a long one, 53 yards out for Burt Auburn. And that one is good. One of the best kickers in the nation delivers again for Texas. And we are knotted up at 13. Tulane back with it. Poor starting field position at around the 13-yard line as Mekhi Hughes gets it with space to the right side. Hughes, the sophomore, down the field. And finally, he'll be tracked down past the 40. A potentially touchdown-saving tackle by Gavin Holmes, but still a huge run for Hughes. Thompson wants it all. He's got it. Touchdown, Tulane. The Green Wave add to the lead. Keith Brown with the score. Even with the bad starting field position, Tulane wastes no time. A huge run from Mekhi Hughes and a big-time pass from Ty Thompson connecting with Keith Brown for the touchdown. And Tulane takes the lead 20-13. Now there's got to be a sense of urgency for Texas. This is no longer a hot start. Tulane is legit in this game. Short throw on 2nd and 12. It's Isaiah Bond. He gets a first down near the 30. Good play there for Texas, trying to set the tone here. Isaiah Bond obviously had the big touchdown earlier. They need to look for him more. 3rd and 8. Ewers up the middle, broken up by Tillery. Tulane gets it back with the lead late in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 7, and time will expire. With 1 quarter to go, Tulane has an opportunity to pull off maybe not necessarily one of the biggest upsets in recent college football history in terms of like the spread or who's expected to win, but I would say one of the most consequential upsets in college football history to try to get the committee to respect Group of 5 more. That one is broken up though. Thompson with a nice play in the pocket, looking downfield, and Texas has it back. The Longhorns today have 0 rushing yards. They've got nothing going on the ground, so they're going to need Quinn Ewers to really lead the way. He gets a nice throw there for Amari Niblack. That'll go for a first down. Play action under pressure. He is sacked. The defense for Tulane makes another big play. I think that was the linebacker, Jesus Machado, off the blitz. This time it's Rogers who is there with the sack. Tulane hasn't had too many sacks where they've necessarily beaten offensive linemen with the rep. They've ran a lot of blitzes, and it's worked. Ewers has not been able to respond to pressure well. Texas punting it on 4th down, even with not a lot of time left to go, and I think that's the right call for them, given that it was a 4th and very long, not in field goal range. They got to trust their defense to get a stop. Big throw on 2nd down for Ty Thompson. That'll go for a first down. It's Shaz Preston who makes the play there for the Green Wave. Another score makes it a 2-score lead as they go up the middle on 3rd down with Hughes, and he is just shy. Texas with the stop. They get it back with a chance to tie the game. Let's see it, Quinn Ewers. Prove to the NFL why you deserve to be a high draft pick. Lead your team down the field in the most important drive of your career. He starts with a nice throw to the sideline. That'll go for a first down. 3rd and inches, nearing the 2-minute mark. Ewers, short throw, caught, but out of bounds. Silas Bolden lost his footing, and now on 4th and 3, they've got to go for it. Tulane looking for the stop to put themselves in the driver's seat. Ewers goes short. It is a first down and more. Matthew Golden makes the play for the Longhorns, and the possession stays alive. Ewers on 1st down, looking deep. He fires. A big reception for Amari Niblack, who gets it inside the 10. With that, Texas calls a timeout. They've got 2 more with it in the red zone. 2nd and goal. C.J. Baxter loses 3. The run game continues to be a problem for Texas. It has been a struggle for them all day long. Tyler Grubbs brings him down. 3rd and goal. In the back of the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for Bond. And now it's 4th and goal, with maybe the game on the line here. Ewers and empty. Looking to throw it. Hit as he throws. Incomplete! Tulane gets the stop, and if they can chew clock efficiently, they have an opportunity to shock the world. It's the first Group of 5 team to ever win a playoff game. Hughes to the outside, does not get it. Texas calls a timeout, and that'll make it a 3rd down. If Tulane gets at least 3 yards here, the game is over, and they win. They'll go back to Hughes, and he is smothered in the backfield. The game stays alive. Tioali Savea brings him down. He's had a big game for Texas, and they'll get it back with no timeouts and 1 more opportunity on offense with really good field position past the 50. So let's see if Texas can hope for a miracle, as it is a 2nd and 10. Of course, no timeouts in their back pocket. Ewers once again an empty, looking to throw it. Quick pass. It's Isaiah Bond. No one in front of him. Touchdown, Texas. Ewers to Bond once again. Mom, get the camera. He's whittlewy doing the gwitty. And now Texas has a decision to make. Do you go for 2, try for the win, or do you take the 1? I really don't get what Tulane was doing here defensively. It looked like they were running single high coverage. That's how Texas and Isaiah Bond are able to find that space downfield. I think given where we are in this game and Texas needing a big play, why are we running single high man coverage? You have to have 2 or 3 safeties back there at least. Texas goes for the 1. I think that's the right call given the fact that they have not been able to run the ball at all. I think if it's Tulane in that spot, you go for the 2 because they have ran it well, not so much on that play. And with that, time expires after this. He'll go back to Hughes. He gets a first down, but it's not going to matter because the clock hit 0. And our first college football playoff game of the year is going to overtime. No short of magic here to start this one. Tulane had 2 chances to close the game on offense. They needed a first down late, could have ended it. Defensively, they needed one more stop. Couldn't do it. So now that brings us to overtime, and we'll see if Texas can avoid the upset bid or if Tulane can avenge the end of that fourth quarter and pull off what would be a shocking start to the playoff. Texas wins the toss. They will choose to start on defense. So we'll take a look at the Tulane offense and Ty Thompson. Tulane's offense has slowed down as of recent. Only 7 points in the second half. Nothing in the fourth quarter. But here in overtime, they're getting right to work. Shaz Preston with the touchdown. Perfect start for Tulane. March down the field. They get 7. And now Texas must respond. Ewers under pressure. He's sacked. Jesus Machado again off of another linebacker blitz. Texas has no answer for these design blitzes. They haven't been ready, and they've done a very poor job of adjusting to them. 2nd and 19. Ewers looking downfield, broken up by Lou Tillery, incomplete. And Texas' season comes down to these last 2 plays. They need at least 19 yards here over these 2 snaps. On 3rd down, Ewers looking deep. It's broken up. That was a good throw. Isaiah Bond had it in his hands, but he can't haul it in. And the game comes down to this. Tulane with another chance to finish. 4th and 19. Texas season on the line. Ewers looking, end zone, touchdown! Texas again will not die. This time it's Matthew Golden with the score, and we are likely headed for a double overtime unless Texas goes for 2. Again, why is there no safety back there? On 4th and 19, you should be playing full prevent defense. What is the thought process? Who is their defensive play caller? This is embarrassing. They've had 3 chances now to close the game and have continuously left the door open for Texas. Double overtime. On 3rd and goal now after a short gain here from Niblack. Keep in mind, if you score a touchdown, you have to go for 2 now. That would put Texas in a sticky spot, but obviously they'd rather score a touchdown than not. However, Ewers fumbles it, and he quickly recovers. That was a close call. Good job by Ewers to pick up the fumble, but again, another linebacker blitz. Chris Rogers into the backfield, untouched. Both of these 2 teams' coaching staffs deserve to lose. Texas has not responded off the blitz. Tulane has no idea what a cover 3 is. And we'll see if Bert Auburn can put the Longhorns ahead. He does. His 3rd field goal of the game, 30-27. So for Tulane, field goal ties, touchdown wins. This is their 4th chance to close out the game. They've got to do it here, right? This is a good start inside the 10. It's Shaz Preston. Now nearing the goal line. They've gotten closer, but have had trouble punching it in. 3rd and goal. Hughes does not get it. And on 4th and goal, what do? Tulane has ran the ball well. I think I would go for it, but they're going to go for the field goal as Texas ices the kicker. Ray Knott for the field goal to send this game into a triple overtime, and his kick is no good! He missed it! And Texas hangs on to win! Oh my goodness! Tulane just missed a chip shot field goal. That's an extra point! A 19-yard field goal for Ray Knott, and he missed it! Texas hangs on! They'll be playing Miami in the 2nd round. What a game, and what a start to this year's college football playoff. On one hand, you got to give Tulane so much credit. I thought there was a real chance they'd come in and get clobbered. They not only hung in this game, but they stood in it until the final snap. However, they had 4 goddamn chances to win. Chewing clock in the 4th quarter. Needing a stop defensively. in the fourth quarter. The 4th and 19 in overtime, and then missing a 19-yard field goal. Tulane deserved to win this game, and they shot themselves in the foot and blew it. Got to give Quinn Ewers credit. I thought he played well, especially down the stretch in the fourth quarter, and in overtime, he was money. And had they lost, it wouldn't have been his fault. It would have been the run game's fault and the offensive line's fault because Texas sucked up the middle. They had a huge game receiving-wise from tight end Amari Niblack, and then 200 yards and 2 touchdowns for Isaiah Bond. The offensive line was god-awful, though. The run blocking was terrible. The pass blocking was terrible. If they struggled against Tulane's defensive front, look out for Miami. Ruben Bain and Mookie Cook are going to eat. As for the Green Wave, Ty Thompson played well. Wasn't perfect down the stretch, but he had a really good game himself. We saw some high-level quarterbacking here. And unlike Texas, these guys actually ran the ball. They utilized both of their running backs, and both guys performed really well. Mekhi Hughes, of course, leading the way, 21 for 124. And then Shoddy Clayton Johnson with 15 for 80. He was also very effective. It was really only 2 receivers, Preston and Brown, who had a big day. Mario Williams, the USC transfer, was held in check largely by Malik Muhammad. 2 sacks for Machado, 2 for Rogers. I give the defense, or at least I give the front 7 a ton of credit. The front 7 was excellent against an SEC offensive line. But likewise, the coverage was awful, and then Ray Knott. I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to say there. He becomes the biggest meme of the series. I don't know how he can show his face on that campus ever again. One Texas team had a hard time. How about this Texas team, the Aggies, facing off against the Ohio State University? It was arguably a disappointing regular season for the Buckeyes. They went 9-3. They lost to Michigan again, but they still sneak into the playoff. Even though Ohio State has not met their standard, this team still has more high-end talent than just about anybody in the nation. Will Howard, I feel like, has really improved throughout this season. He's really caught his stride here with the Buckeyes. Of course, they've got a great running back tandem with Quinshon Judkins and TreVeyon Henderson. Henderson's missed the last 6 games with injury, but he is back healthy. True freshman receiver Jeremiah Smith, the senior Emeka Ibuka, and of course a really strong defense led by the great corner tandem of Denzel Burke and Davison Igbinosun. Their opponent is Texas A&M, who went 10-2 this year. They did struggle in the SEC Championship against Georgia, losing 17-3. The offense was a travesty. The offensive line was terrible. Connor Wigman struggled in that game. They couldn't establish the run, but this has still been one of the best teams in the nation this year. They definitely deserve to host a first-round playoff game. But over the past decade, Texas A&M has often struggled to get out of their own way. And we'll see if they can finally win the big one. I'm really excited about the matchup of Ohio State's offense versus A&M's defense. A&M looked really good defensively in the SEC Championship. Nick Scorton had like 3 or 4 sacks. He completely took over the game, leading what is a really, really good Texas A&M defensive line filled with 5-star blue-chip prospects. Ohio State opens up with the ball. Will Howard and maybe the best group of weapons in the nation as he fires early. The true freshman, Jeremiah Smith, gets 38. Jeremiah Smith is special, leads this team in receiving, again, as a true freshman, one of the best high school prospects in recent memory, and a guy who has a fast track to be an NFL first-rounder in 3 years. Up the middle, nice throw for Jalen Ballard. He gets around 18, and Ohio State already has it in the red zone. Texas A&M's defense was flawless in the SEC Championship for the most part, struggling early, but they do get the sack here. A big play for the big man, number 99, Gabriel Brownlow-Dindy. 3rd and 9 now for Ohio State. Howard looking, end zone, broken up, incomplete. Good play there in the secondary, and Ohio State will have to kick a field goal. Jaden Fielding on to kick this one for Ohio State. This kick is up and good. The last time Ohio State went for a field goal in a college football playoff game didn't go so well. Shout out Noah Ruggles. And speaking of, that game with Ohio State and Georgia. The winner of this game will be playing Georgia in the next round. And of course, that would be an SEC Championship rematch for Texas A&M. They'd be looking for revenge. But they got to win this game first as Wigman connects with Cyrus Allen. Gets a big play after the catch, gaining 26 yards. A&M's offense looks really good here on this first drive. A complete far cry from what we saw against Georgia. Here's Reuben Owens, the talented young back, breaking tackles into the end zone for a touchdown. And the redshirt freshman gets the scoring started for Texas A&M. They couldn't score a touchdown in the SEC Championship, but they get one already here against Ohio State, and we'll see how the Buckeyes will look to respond. Their first drive was a good one. They brought it into the red zone, but the sack really killed all the momentum they had. Howard is thrown down to the ground by Torian York. And the former Kansas State quarterback gets smothered there for a big loss, and that'll wrap up quarter number 1. Looks like we could be looking at another really close and competitive ball game. Texas A&M leads it 7-3. Ohio State's thrown the ball well. They haven't been able to get the ground game going, even with the return of Trevion Henderson, who hasn't played in 2 months. A&M back with it. On third down, this one is broken up into secondary by the All-American senior corner, Denzel Burke. Buckeyes get it back with really good field position past the 50. 3rd and 9. Howard looking downfield. It is broken up, incomplete. Jeremiah Smith the intended target, and that leads to a punt. A&M now. Wigman is picked off. Denzel Burke picks it off, and he brings it to the 10. Huge play for Ohio State. They forced the turnover. Good play after the catch by Burke, and they will start essentially with pretty much a 1st and goal. A big mistake there for Wigman, who's one of the most physically talented quarterbacks in the country, but he is amongst the leaders in turnover rate and interceptions. The 11th pick he has thrown this year. Great play there by Denzel Burke, who looks to be a first-round pick in this year's draft. 3rd down and 13 now for the Ohio State. Howard looks to throw it under pressure, and he chucks it into the ground. Incomplete. Good job there by the A&M pass rush, and they will hold on to their lead. Jaden Fielding on to kick it for Ohio State. This one is up and through, and it is a 1-point game, 7-6, now in favor of Texas A&M. The Aggies will get it back, looking to add to their lead, coming off of the turnover on the previous possession from Burke. 3rd and 3. This one is broken up. Big hit by Caleb Downs, the All-American sophomore safety and transfer from Alabama, one of the most talented defensive players in the country. Nice throw here from Howard. He gets it to the tight end, G. Scott Jr., who gets the first down. That brings us to the 2-minute warning here in the first half. Ohio State appears to be moving it nicely. Past the 25. Howard hit as he throws for the end zone. It's caught for a score. Carnell Tate with the touchdown, and the Buckeyes take the lead. That was a really good throw by Howard. He had 3 guys in his face, but he stays calm and poised in the pocket, delivers a rocket for the end zone with Carnell Tate making a really nice grab. That was good coverage in the secondary by Texas A&M, but Tate makes an even better play out wide. And a big sack here for Ohio State early in the possession. It's Tyleik Williams, the All-American defensive tackle, who brings him down. 3rd and 18. They're going to run the ball. Look to burn an Ohio State timeout as Reuben Owens gets a solid gain wrapped up by Denzel Burke. Not a first down. Ohio State gets it back, looking to add to the lead. 3rd and 7. Howard's pass is caught. Nice grab by Emeka Ibuka, the potential first-round receiver who's had a strong year, but a quiet game so far. On 3rd down again, up the middle. An impressive throw and catch, and that'll go for another first down. It's hauled in again by G. Scott. He's had a busy first half. Howard lobs it. What a catch! Emeka Ibuka showing off his jump ball ability. He's not the biggest guy, 6'1", 205, but he shows off his physicality. The NFL teams are going to like that when they're watching the film. But Howard is brought down on 1st and goal. Nick Scorton is home, his 15th sack of the year. Scorton with more pressure, and it'll force a dump off to Scott. 5 catches, 79 yards here in the first half for Scott. And Ohio State's going to have to kick another field goal. This will make it a 2-score lead, though. The kick here from Jaden Fielding is up, and it is no good. Wide to the left as time expires in the first half. What is with these kickers? First Tulane, now Ohio State. These guys can't make the easiest kicks on the biggest stage. 13-7 going into half. I feel like that was mostly a really good second quarter, though, for Ohio State. The Denzel Burke interception was the play that it really looked like they could take over a lot of momentum, and they have, despite the fact that they've not been able to run the ball seemingly at all. They've scored 10 unanswered since then, but the missed field goal by Fielding really could prove to be a problem because it's only a 1-score game. 13-17 to start the third. Wigman is wrapped up on first down, an early sack for Ohio State. It's the senior edge rusher Tyler Bourne who is home with the sack. 3rd and 18 now. Wegman will look short for the running back, Ruben Owens, and it is off the mark. Not a particularly good first drive to start the second half for an A&M offense that all of a sudden looks anemic again, just like the SEC championship. Howard hands it off for Quinshon Judkins with a nice run up the middle, and this is what we've been waiting for. Judkins is a projected top 50 pick. Trevion Henderson, who's in the backfield now, a top 100 projected pick. But he will not hang on to this one. Howard throws it way above his head. And that'll bring out the field goal unit once again. Jaden Fielding missed a chip shot on his last try. This one is good, however. He's now 3 for 4. It's been a busy start for him. And Ohio State leads by 2 scores as we head into the 4th. The Buckeyes are in a good spot right now. Texas A&M's offense is struggling. They looked really good on that first drive. They marched right down the field, punched it into the end zone, and since then they've done nothing. They barely have 100 yards today, and almost all of that came on their opening drive. Wigman throws it behind the sticks, and it's a loss of 4 for Ruben Owens. 3rd and 17 now. It's caught by Smith! Down the field! Finally a big play for Texas A&M! E.J. Smith, the son of the NFL's all-time rushing leader, Emmitt Smith, with a 71-yard score, and the lead is all of a sudden within 2. The Aggies are back, and College Station, including this pup, is all of a sudden rocking again. Finally, a big play for Texas A&M. They needed that. Good throw by Wegman. Good play after the catch. Burke slow to turn his hips here. Number 8, not able to make a good play in coverage. And then the safety in the back end is unable to catch up. A big play for Texas A&M. And just like that, we've got ourselves a ball game again. And now Ohio State's got to respond, only up by 2. 3rd and 14. Here is Howard looking downfield. He's got Ibuka. Another really impressive catch for Emeka Ibuka down the field inside the 15. A huge play for Ibuka. He gets 69. Nice. On 2nd down, Trevion Henderson pushes forward to the 1. A huge statement drive for Ohio State. Can they finish off with a touchdown? 1st and goal, RPO, and Carnell Tate walks it in. His 2nd touchdown of the night. And within a matter of just a few plays, Ohio State's right back up by 2 scores. They're going to take the extra point here. You might think they want to bring it to 10, but that'd be the stupidest thing they could do because if they don't get the 2, it would be a 1-score ball game. So it's 23-14. Wegman launches it downfield on 3rd and 7, incomplete, and they're going to go for it. Here on 4th down with under 5 minutes to go, down by 2 scores, they recognize it's kind of now or never. Wegman up the middle, it's caught. A really nice throw. And it's hauled in for a 1st down by the senior Moose Muhammad, the son of former NFL receiving leader Mushin Muhammad. Following play, back to Muhammad, and he is smothered in the backfield for a loss. 3rd and 13, broken up, incomplete. They're going to have to go for it again here on 4th down, once again realizing it's now or never. This time a 4th and 13, a little bit past the 35, and it is broken up in the secondary by the sophomore Jermaine Matthews Jr. Buckeyes back with it. Howard looking, end zone, touchdown! It's Jeremiah Smith, the true freshman, with potentially the icing on the cake for Ohio State. They now lead by 15. Forget chewing clock. The Buckeyes are looking to score again quickly, and Brutus is loving it. Huge play for Jeremiah Smith, the native of Miami, who continues to take college football by storm. Great throw by Howard, threading the needle. A&M did not expect him to look downfield, and now they're going to go for 2. Look to make it a 3-score lead. Howard fakes the handoff. It's play action. Goes short for Henderson, who is stopped well short of the end zone, as Shamar Turner, who had a great SEC championship game, is hurt for A&M. Now it's a 4th and 20. Obviously, they got to go for it. Wegman launches downfield. What a catch! Cyrus Allen hangs on, and I guess the game stays alive. Another 4th down. This time, he is sacked, and that could be the dagger. The play for Ohio State is made by Kenyatta Jackson. It's a 15-point lead. Ohio State has it with good field position. No remorse. They want to add to this lead. 2nd and goal. Read option. Howard walks it in for a touchdown. And Ohio State is going to take a 3-possession lead and finish this game for good. Striking the Heisman pose. Howard, of course, finished 3rd in Heisman voting. Feels like he should have won it. A&M's actually going to march all the way down the field with another 4th down, and they will convert. Moose Muhammad III brings it inside the 5. And we'll see if Texas A&M can get one more set of points. They're not going to have enough time to run the snap. This would be a much more climactic ending if it was a 2-point game rather than a 22-point game. But, oh well. Big 4th quarter for the Buckeyes. 20 unanswered to finish. They win 36-14 with a huge game from Will Howard. 3 scores through the air, another one through the ground. And this game was a lot more competitive than the score suggests. But A&M's offense struggled too much, and Ohio State really got things rolling late to ultimately win this game, and they will get a rematch with Georgia, who, of course, they lost to a couple years ago in heartbreaking fashion prior to Georgia winning their 2nd consecutive national title with Stetson Bennett and the gang. A&M's offense in this game and in the SEC Championship was a disaster. They scored 17 combined points, under 50% completion percentage for Connor Wigman. Had some nice throws. Offensive line and receivers did not do him any favors, but he wasn't great today. I thought Reuben Owens was pretty solid, but none of their receivers really stood out at all. Defensively, they were pretty good, especially in the red zone early, but in that 4th quarter, they were just worn out. Nick Scorton with another great game, though. If he declares, I think he is a top 10 pick. He has been awesome in the SEC Championship and now today. Speaking of awesome, I was really impressed with Will Howard. Nothing bad to say. He was really good. They couldn't really run the ball, though. Judkins and Henderson both started off really poorly. They were both better as the game went along, and we'll see if Ohio State can continue their positive momentum against Georgia. Emeka Ibuka, G. Scott, Jeremiah Smith, and Carnell Tate all with big games through the air, and then the defense was really impressive, forcing pressure, forcing the turnover by Denzel Burke. And now we head to South Bend. Notre Dame, similar to Texas A&M, is a team who's usually pretty good, usually ranked pretty high. When Notre Dame has made the playoff, they have consistently disappointed. Their opponent here is the defending national champion Wolverines of Michigan. Now, a lot of people might be wondering why the Wolverines are here. They lost 4 games. That includes the conference championship to Oregon. And why they'd get a spot over, say, 2-loss Rutgers. You can't punish teams for playing in the conference championship, but it was still very controversial to put a 3 regular season loss Michigan team over a 2-loss Rutgers team. Of course, as we know, these guys are going to play their brand of football. Run the damn pigskin, with Donovan Edwards leading the way. The defense is tremendous. Josiah Stewart, 12 sacks. Mason Graham, 11.5. He's going to be a top 5 pick in April. Will Johnson could be as well. As for Notre Dame, started the year hot, lost a couple in a row, but since then, they've picked things up, including a huge win against USC, in basically a winner goes to the playoff, loser is out game. Riley Leonard, the senior quarterback, has had a very strong season with a talented group of weapons. We'll see if Notre Dame is able to hang with the defending national champions. I think this might be the most evenly matched game of the playoff. Obviously, their defense is really solid. Howard Cross leads the way with multiple potential future high draft picks in the secondary. Cornerback Benjamin Morrison and safety Xavier Watts lead the way for the Fighting Irish. And the winner of this game gets a date with Utah in the second round. And had we not choked against Utah, I would think the winner of this game would be playing us, but obviously that didn't happen. Michigan runs the ball at a higher rate than just about anybody across the country. We'll see if they're able to play their brand of football today as they start on offense. 2nd down and 7. Donovan Edwards up the middle, and he gets it past the 40. Edwards, of course, was brilliant last year in the national championship game against Washington. A lot of people question, can he be a true bell cow early down runner? And this year he certainly has. Alex Orji on 1st down with a great throw and a nice play after the catch. It's Frederick Moore, the sophomore receiver from St. Louis, who gets the play. 3rd and 11 now. Orji looks to throw it across the field. Another nice play back to Moore, and he gets it to the 15-yard line. Can Michigan punch it in? Handoff to the Don. Donovan Edwards with the touchdown. Michigan marches down the field. A great opening drive for the defending champion Wolverines. They lead 7-0. I was really impressed by Michigan in the second half of the conference championship game against Oregon. Michigan was anemic in the first half, and then in the second half, they almost came back and won. Leonard's pass is tipped and incomplete. Notre Dame's going to look to kick the field goal here. This is a long one if he can make it. 53-yarder for Mitch Jeter. It's up, and he drills it. An impressive kick for Jeter, and it's 7-3. So both teams score on their opening possessions, and Michigan gets it back. You'd think this would be the lowest scoring game of the first round, but both offenses look good. That one is incomplete, though. Nice coverage by the All-American Benjamin Morrison. And now Michigan looks to kick. Dominic Zvada on for the field goal. 54-yard try. And that one is good. It's 10-3. So both kickers with 50-plus yarders here in the first quarter. It's been a pretty good game so far, but the Wolverines lead it 10-3 with an impressive opening drive led by Donovan Edwards. And we've seen a lot of teams really struggle to run the ball so far. But you know Michigan, they're going to get the ground game going, and so far they have had no issues on the ground. Donovan Edwards has been fantastic, and their offensive line has been great. On third down, Riley Leonard, under pressure, throws it away. I think that was Kenneth Grant who led the way. Obviously, Mason Graham gets a lot of credit on this defensive line, but Kenneth Grant is a great player himself. Third down, the Wolverines do not get the first down, and they're going to elect to punt it. The fullback, Max Bredesen, was close. I would go for it here on fourth down. Alex Orji is a big guy. 6'3", 235. QB sneak and push that thing in. But they're going to punt the ball, and Notre Dame gets it back. On third down, it's Jeremiah Love. He does not get it. Jayshon Barnum leads the way for Michigan, and now both defenses are settling in. Donovan Edwards on third down. Stopped. Notre Dame has it. 3rd and 9. Leonard under pressure from Mason Graham and Josiah Stewart. He throws it away. Both offenses look so good in the first quarter. What happened? This is the ugly football game I expected. Alex Orji is now sacked, and he loses yardage. Howard crossed the 3rd, and Jack Kaiser bring him down. 3rd and 10. Another sack. This time it's Riley Mills. The senior defensive tackle comes home to make the play, and Notre Dame gets it back, looking to potentially tie this one up. Leonard sacked again. These pass rushes have gotten hot quick. Kenneth Grant with the sack, and now it is a 2nd and long. Leonard under pressure, finally not a sack, and it's caught! He was hit as he throws, but a huge throw and catch. Jaden Greathouse, the sophomore, gets 36. On first down, another conversion for the Irish, but the ball's out, it's a fumble, and it's picked up by Michigan. Jeremiah Love coughs it up, and the Wolverines jump on it. The force from Jayshon Barnum, the recovery from the All-American Will Johnson. Let's look at this play again, make sure this fumble is out. Jayshon Barnum has been one of the unsung heroes of this defense over the last few years. And as you can see, bam! That ball is out. And a good recovery for Will Johnson. Michigan gets it back. Orji and empty on third down. Looking deep, and it's picked off. Notre Dame with a turnover of their own. Xavier Watts, the All-American, with the pick. What a disastrous quarter of offense. Both teams turning over the ball. Both quarterbacks getting sacked at least twice. This has been an ugly game, which again is exactly what I would have expected from these two teams. This is a Midwest football game, and in this second quarter, we have seen these defenses play awesome. Xavier Watts does a great job of jumping the route. The receiver looked open, but Orji did not see Watts coming in. Notre Dame has it back. 2nd and 10. Riley Leonard launches a rocket for the heavens, and it's caught inside the 10 by Jaden Thomas. But there's no time left on the clock. The one time we see the Notre Dame offense do something good, clock hit 0, and that'll wrap up the first half. 10-3, your score. Michigan with an opening drive touchdown. Since then, neither team has found the end zone. Both defenses have looked brilliant in this game. Let's see if that carries over into the second half, again, with a second-round matchup versus Utah on the line. 3rd and 5 here early for Notre Dame. Their offense had a rough go of it in the first half. Got to get something rolling here, but that one is broken up by Will Johnson. Michigan now has it. They ran it really well early. They've run it well overall today. And Orji's been efficient. They just haven't consistently moved the ball. But here's a big play to around the 20. Finally an explosive through the air. It's Marlon Klein, the backup tight end, who makes the play for the Wolverines. And they now have it at around the 2. 1st and goal. Donovan Edwards walks it in. The Don in for a second score. And Michigan makes it a 2-possession ball game. It's 17-3. Huge drive to start this third quarter for Michigan. And now they have a pretty sizable lead here. 1st and 10. Here is Leonard. He is sacked. Mason Graham now with 12.5. You don't see interior defensive linemen putting up sack numbers like that. There's a reason why he's in consideration to be the number 1 pick, let alone top 5, as I mentioned earlier. 2nd and 17. Leonard, completely oblivious to the pressure. He is sacked in the end zone. Mason Graham, 2 hands for safety. Back-to-back sacks for Graham, and maybe the worst pocket awareness I've ever seen in my entire life. He was right in front of Riley Leonard, and it looked like he had no idea he was under any pressure at all. 19-3, Michigan back with it as Orji is wrapped up there, sacked on the play by the Irish defense, wrapped up there by Jalen Sneed. Remains 19-3. That'll lead to a punt. Notre Dame gets it back on 3rd and 12. Leonard under pressure. He is sacked again. This time Josiah Stewart is there to make the play, and that'll wrap up what was a not-so-good third quarter for the Fighting Irish. 19-3, Michigan with the lead. They're actually going to run one more play, and it's a pretty good one, a first down run here for Donovan Edwards. Notre Dame's got to be feeling the pressure now for a team who, again, has struggled whenever they've made the playoff. This is not a good look. Their offense has been a complete no-show. Riley Leonard has played a really bad game. Their offensive line has been a disaster. Michigan's chewing clock. They're marching down the field as that one is broken up on 3rd and goal. Orji was looking for the back of the end zone, and that'll bring out the field goal team. Dominic Zvada with a chip shot, this one from around 25, and it is no good again. These college kickers are something else, man. I'll tell you what, I do not envy them. I would rather be making videos in my room than either have 100,000 people booing me or 100,000 home fans being pissed off that I missed what should have been an easy kick. Still a 2-score game. The door might still be open for Notre Dame, and now it's closed. Riley Leonard is picked off, and here is Will Johnson on the return. Johnson, can he beat the offensive lineman? Yes, he does! A pick 6, and Michigan appears to have iced the game. Will Johnson with the play for the Wolverines. The All-American corner makes it a 3-score lead. What a play there after the catch there by Will Johnson, and a really bad throw by Riley Leonard, basically saying F it. Chucking it into double coverage. Throwing the ball near Will Johnson is a dangerous idea to begin with. And the All-American from Detroit makes a nice play there for the Wolverines. It is now 26-3. The sideline fired up. They can taste this victory. A lot of people saying they don't belong in this game, but they have certainly passed the eye test and look like, whether their resume shows it or not, that they do deserve to be here, but they're not done. Another interception. This time it's picked off by Jaden Mangum. So Riley Leonard is picked off here on basically back-to-back passes. Michigan tacks on a field goal 29-3. We're not done. Leonard is picked again. Will Johnson to the house. His second pick 6 within a matter of minutes, and he's doing the gritty in the end zone. It is 36-3. Riley Leonard has completely lost the plot. What is happening? Back-to-back-to-back drives with an interception, and he is still not done. Will Johnson again looking for a third pick 6, and he's tackled out of bounds by Riley Leonard. What just happened? Riley Leonard threw 4 interceptions within the span of about 3 minutes. Michigan blows Notre Dame out of the water, winning this game 36-3. I am in awe of that ending. Not that the result would have changed if Riley Leonard didn't throw any interceptions, but he threw 4. I mean, he completely quit at the end of this game. You could tell his body language was horrible. He was making throws just for the sake of making them. It was like he was trying to throw the ball to Will Johnson. Does he think Will Johnson plays receiver or something? On one hand, Riley Leonard did not have a good game. His draft stock did not go up. But on another hand, if I was an NFL GM, I would be very concerned about that ending. Not so much that he was making the wrong reads and making the wrong progressions, which, boy, he was, but the fact that he just looked completely defeated and deflated in what, of course, was an ultra-impressive blowout for Michigan. Again, Riley Leonard, not good through the first 3 quarters, and then, without a doubt, I think the worst 5 minutes of quarterback play I've ever seen in my entire life. With guys like Quinn Ewers and Will Howard projected in the same range as him, and with those guys having awesome days, it's hard to make an argument for Leonard to be drafted before them. Their defense was good early in this game, but they just got worn down by Michigan's stout run game. Alex Orji did not need to have a strong day, and he was solid, completed 80% of his passes, but they ran things through Donovan Edwards, who had 32 carries. In the Broncos prospect profile episode, I questioned if he can be a bell cow running back. That was foolish of me. He leads the NCAA in carries, and today he had over 30. 2 sacks for Mason Graham, 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter for Will Johnson, including 2 pick sixes. And now that brings us to our last game of the day. Kansas and SMU. Our Jayhawks in the playoff with an opportunity to face off against Oregon in the second round. I'm really excited for the opportunity that this team is going to get. 4 years ago, the Kansas football program was dead in the water, the worst Power 5 program in the 2010s. But this senior class, with Jalen Daniels, the greatest quarterback in school history now, Devin Neal, the hometown kid from right down the street in Lawrence, defensively with guys like Kobe Bryant, Mello Dotson, Marvin Grant, the receivers, Lawrence Arnold and Luke Grimm. These guys saved and resurrected Kansas football. They deserve to be here in the college football playoff, turning this program from nothing into more than something. But we're up for a big challenge here. SMU, in their first season in the ACC, making the playoff. We had the highest rated senior quarterback in the nation. They had the highest rated junior with Preston Stone. This is not SMU's first rodeo, but it is in the modern era. Back in the 80s, SMU was a dominant program, and the death penalty term, which has been floated around in recent years with college football games, that was originated by SMU's cheating scandals throughout the 1980s. Their program literally received the death penalty, and it has taken them decades to build back, and it looks like they finally have. So there's a lot riding for this game for both of these teams, two schools who 10, 20 years ago you'd think would never be here. We'll start with our Kansas Jayhawks, who are the number 9 seed. We went 11-1 in the regular season. We had our ups and downs. We had a lot of games that we should have lost. And interestingly, we really didn't have a very hard schedule. So it was a question of how we would look in the Big 12 championship, and we held up pretty well. We should have won that game, but blew it at the end. We've got the most dynamic backfield in the nation. Jalen Daniels, likely first-round pick. Devin Neal could be a first-rounder. Luke Grimm and Lawrence Arnold have been incredible. Devin Neal's the best pass-catching back in the nation. And then defensively, an elite secondary, multiple All-American true freshmen, 14.5 sacks for Tykius Brinkley, 3 interceptions for Damani Maxson. But boy, it's not going to be easy. This SMU team has been really impressive. They did lose their last game to Cal in Week 14. It actually got slaughtered in that game, but kind of similar to Texas, that could be a good thing for them. They didn't have to worry about a conference championship game, but obviously that means they need to play this first-round game, of course, but they have multiple weeks of rest. And we'll see how they can perform with a strong, efficient offense and a really solid defense. Unlike us, this team really doesn't rely on star power. Maybe not a lot of high NFL draft picks here, but a very, very well-rounded roster and an overall really good team of players. The winner of this game will face off against Oregon in the Rose Bowl. The Ducks, of course, the number 1 seed, the only undefeated team left, and one of the most talented rosters really in the last decade, right up there with 2019 LSU, 2020 Alabama, the back-to-back Georgia championships. That Oregon team is that good. Kansas will start with the ball, and this one is underway. Your eyes are not deceiving you. The Kansas Jayhawks are playing in a college football playoff game. These two offenses run things very differently. SMU throws the ball over 75% of the time. Kansas only at around 60%. I would say the average mark is around 65% pass. So Kansas certainly leans run, and SMU certainly leans passing. 2nd and 4. Here's our first down of the game. Trevor Wilson makes the play for the Jayhawks as he gets it to around the 32-yard line. 3rd and 10 now. The offense struggling early, just as they did last week. Daniels hit as he throws, passes tipped and incomplete. SMU with the stop, and they will get possession of the football as they look to score first. Preston Stone, the juniors had a strong season. Very solid group of weapons led by running back Jalen Knighton, tight end R.J. Maryland, and a pretty well-rounded group of receivers. He'll hand it off to Knighton here on the left side. A first down run and more for Knighton as he's wrapped up by the true freshman Damani Maxson past the 50. If SMU can set the tone by getting the ground game going, I think that'd be a big deal. Following play with a receiver in motion, they will go back to Knighton, and this time he's smothered in the backfield. Jeremy Robinson and friends bring him down. Robinson, another one of the talented seniors on this roster. Over half the starting lineup is seniors, and if these guys lose, that'll be it for their collegiate careers. Stone throws it away under pressure from, once again, the senior, Dylan Wadke. So Kansas gets it back with not so good starting field position. 3rd and 6, now at the 8-yard line. Daniels looks to throw it. It is caught, but not enough for the first down. Quentin Skinner's just short. And even though we're that close, you cannot go for it in the first quarter inside your own 15. That would be foolish, and we're going to punt the ball away. SMU back with it, obviously starting with good field position. Play action. Short throw is caught. It's R.J. Maryland, the junior tight end and likely future NFL draft prospect, with the first down. The Mustangs now with it in the red zone, just past the 20. 1st and 10. Stone looks to throw it. He's intercepted. Kobe Bryant, his 6th INT of the year. Kansas with the red zone turnover, and they'll get it back on offense. Don't throw the ball near number 2 because he will make you pay. Kobe Bryant has been one of the best corners in the nation. Of course, he had the big interception late in the Big 12 championship against Utah. That should have been enough to finish the game. Obviously, it wasn't, but hopefully this time we will capitalize off the turnover. 2 drives for each team, and so far no score. Kansas has really struggled to run the ball, and they haven't gotten too much through the air either. Devin Neal with it to the right side, and he will lose 3. The SMU run defense looking stout early, and it's now a 2nd and long for the Kansas offense. Daniels looks to throw it, looks downfield. He's got Lawrence Arnold. Arnold with a juke move, gets by the corner, and Arnold is wrapped up past the 35. A huge gain for Lawrence Arnold as he ends up with 52 yards on that play, most of which came after the catch. Lawrence Arnold is not known for his ability with the ball in his hands, but he had some really impressive plays after the catch in the Big 12 championship game against Utah. He had over 100 yards in that game, including Kansas' first offensive touchdown in the second half. And that time, again, swerving by defenders, our biggest offensive play of the game from either team so far by far. Devin Neal going backwards, and he loses 7. Devin Neal realized that he's got to go down before he digs that hole even bigger. Negative yardage for Neal so far on the ground. 3rd and 17. That one is caught for a first down. When in doubt, look for the Grim Reaper. Luke Grimm with the conversion. Kansas is now in the red zone. 3rd and 2, maybe the final play of the quarter. Neal trying to get the first. Bounces to the outside. He does. 5 carries, 0 yards for Devin Neal. That'll wrap up quarter number 1. No score here, but Kansas is close. They've got it at the 5 with a great opportunity to strike first here in Dallas and take an early lead here in round 1 of the college football playoff with a matchup in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl against Oregon on the line. 2nd and goal from the 3. Daniels has space and walks it in for a score. Jalen Daniels, now the rushing touchdown in 8 of his last 9 games, strutting his stuff. And the Jayhawks lead 7-0. This is the drive we've been waiting for offensively. A few big plays through the air with Arnold and Grimm, finished off by a nice run from Jalen Daniels. Through 3 drives, we have not been able to establish the run. Again, Devin Neal has 0 rushing yards today. Finally, though, we're really leaning into the pass. Really good drive from Daniels. A few great throws, a few great runs. And now it's 7-0. SMU looks to respond. A little trickery. But the freshman, Dakaius Brinkley, is not fooled. It's a loss of 9 on the play for Keyshawn Smith. Looked like O.J. Burrows was there as well. Now a 3rd and 13 after the hook and ladder. As Stone's pass is broken up, incomplete. Caleb Purdy with the hit. He had 2 interceptions in the Big 12 championship game against Utah. Kansas gets it back now at the 50. Devin Neal gets the handoff, and he again gets nothing. It's just been that kind of day for the Kansas offense, and it's not like we're not giving him the ball. He has 9 touches for 7 yards. 3rd and 10, Daniels looks short. It's Grimm. He gets 6. 4th and 4, prime 4-down territory. This, my friends, is where you keep the offense out on the field. It's actually 4th and 3. And since they haven't been able to run the ball, they're going to throw it. Devin Neal is able to stay in bounds, and he gets the first. It was risky to go behind the sticks looking for Neal, but we knew there was no defenders in the area. Devin Neal does a good job staying in, keeping the drive going. On first down, it's a screen for Skinner. Follows his blocks, gets a big block from Wilson, and he is gone! Quentin Skinner with a 43-yard touchdown. Kansas adds to the lead. A huge play from the senior, Quentin Skinner, and it's 14-0. On first down, we go for the design screen, and it works to a T. Our blockers do a fantastic job. Skinner makes number 7 miss, and from there, he's just got to keep on running. Takes it to the crib, 14-0 in favor of the Jayhawks. SMU gets it back. They've got to get rolling. Their offense has struggled. 3rd and 1, they will get the first down. A good run for L.J. Johnson Jr., the talented backup running back. 2nd and 9. They've only ran it on this drive so far. We'll see if they stick with that here. They do. Back to L.J. Johnson, and he gets another first down. This is a big hit by Grant, by the way. This is a pass-first team who has not been able to play their game. Their passing offense has really struggled. Now they finally look to throw it finally, and it's a decent game. It's around 9 or 10 yards into the hands of Jake Bailey, the number 1 receiver, as it's now 3rd and 1. Stone up the middle, caught for a first down, R.J. Maryland. Now they're starting to look short in the passing game, and it's working. This team likes to stretch the field. They haven't been able to do it. They'll go for it here on first down, and it works. Jordan Hudson, the junior, brings it inside the 15, so now they've got it in the red zone. Following play, under a minute left in the half. Stone gets it to Moochie Dixon, who gets by Berryhill, tripped up in the end zone for a touchdown. And SMU might be back in this game. Moochie Dixon with the score. And it is 14-7. A big drive from SMU. Started with the run, then they flipped over to the pass. An efficient drive for the Mustangs, and all of a sudden we've got ourselves a ball game. Only down by 7 now, but Kansas is going to get it back on offense here with a chance to respond before half. And keep in mind, SMU does start the second half on offense, so if we can score even just a field goal here, that'd be a really big deal. First down from the 22. Daniels looks to throw it. Clean pocket. He's got Skinner down the field. Can he take it all the way? 10-5. Touchdown. A one-play drive for Kansas. 78-yard score for Quentin Skinner. The longest passing play of the entire season for the Jayhawks, and they're right back up by 2 scores. Look at this play here. Daniels with a clean pocket gets it to Skinner. They were running at Tampa too, but we were able to find a seam within the defense. A really bad tackling angle by the safety, who was supposed to be the deep man in coverage, and Skinner now has his second touchdown of the game. 21-7, around 30 seconds to go in the half. Stone on the first play of the drive is intercepted! Damani Maxson, the freshman, with his 4th of the year. What is happening? Kansas is firing on all cylinders. Another turnover for the defense. They're going to start with the ball in the red zone with a chance to make it a 3-score lead. This team is playing one of their best halves of football this entire season. The offense has been great, minus the run game. The defense has been great, as it's 2nd and 10. Daniels rolls to the left, under pressure, end zone, touchdown! Luke Grimm, the Grim Reaper, will look to kill your chances of winning. It's 28-7. Jalen Daniels has 4 all-purpose touchdowns in just the second quarter alone. These two teams have scored 3 touchdowns on the last 5 plays from scrimmage. Jalen Daniels, on his last 4 passes, has thrown for 3 scores. This offense, or at least this passing offense, looks awesome. Jalen Daniels has been unbelievable in this game. If I'm SMU, I just kneel the ball out. You do not want to give Kansas more momentum. Nice run here for L.J. Johnson. He gets a few. And that'll likely wrap things up here in the second quarter. Wow! Kansas putting on a show. After a scoreless first quarter, it is 28-7 in a game where we have not been able to run the ball at all. Devin Neal is averaging less than a yard per carry, and it hasn't mattered. Jalen Daniels in the pass game have been unstoppable. Quentin Skinner, who I don't think has an 100-yard game all season, has 3 catches for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Daniels is 12 of 17 through the air, 245 yards and 3 scores, with a passer rating of nearly 250. Obviously, Skinner, 3 for 123 and 2 scores. Luke Grimm is 51 and a touchdown. Lawrence Arnold only has 1 catch, but it went for 52. And again, look at Devin Neal. 7 carries for 6 yards. 3 catches for 7 yards. It's not like we're not trying to get him the ball. He has 10 touches today for 13 yards. And if you were to tell me that was his stat line going into the second half before this game started, I'd be concerned. But Jalen Daniels is playing out of his goddamn mind. And now SMU's got to respond fast. They have to score on this possession before things get ugly. Here's a big play after the catch all the way to around the 30 as it is hauled in by Keyshawn Smith, the senior hailing from San Diego. Following play, Stone on first down, under some pressure, nobody's open, lofts it up, it's caught for a touchdown by Moochie Dixon, his second score of the game. What a throw by Preston Stone. We've obviously given Jalen Daniels a lot of credit for the passes he's made. Preston Stone certainly has not been as effective in this game with the 2 first-half interceptions. But my goodness, did he thread the needle. Caleb Purdy was right there. It looks like he kind of turns around late, and Dixon is able to keep both feet in bounds. Big drive for SMU. It's 28-14. Kansas back with it after a 28-point second quarter, as Luke Grimm is just shy of the yard to gain. Perfect start to the second half for SMU here in these first 3 minutes. Get a touchdown, get a stop. This game's far from over, as Damon Greaves is on to punt it away. And this one's going to take a very friendly bounce to the 16. I don't know why the receiver didn't try to catch it. That ends up being a net loss of about 25 yards. So SMU has it back. Here's Jalen Knight, and look at him go. Marvin Grant, number 6, missed what should have been an easy tackle. That's rare for him. He's one of the best tacklers in the entire country. And luckily, the corner, Kobe Bryant, is there for what could have been a touchdown-saving tackle. This time, Marvin Grant does make the right play. Solid gain, but we've got a flag. This one's coming back. It's a holding on SMU, and that's a big deal. When they have started behind the sticks today, that has been a problem for them, as it's now a 3rd down and 8. Preston Stone and empty. They go 5 wide. Looking to throw it. Under pressure. He is sacked. The true freshman, Dekias Brinkley, lives in the backfield. Today, here in the playoff, no different. 15.5 sacks now on the season for Brinkley. I think that puts him tied for second with Nick Scorton. Jayhawks back with it. Devin Neal loses a yard again. The rush game has still very much struggled. We have not been able to get it going here in the second half. 3rd and 11. Daniels looks downfield. He's got Arnold down the field. Nobody ahead of him. And Lawrence Arnold takes it to the house for a touchdown. What a play there by Lawrence Arnold. 63 yards. And again, the SMU tackling in the back end has been a disaster. The corner completely misplays this. He should have run upfield a little bit and pushed him out of bounds. Would have maybe been an extra few yards, but it prevents this. A huge touchdown for Lawrence Arnold, who has 2 catches for 115. That one from 62. Daniels with 4 passing touchdowns. That's a season high. 5 all-purpose touchdowns on the day. 35-14. Good run for Knighton, wrapped up by Marvin Grant. Over 100 yards now on the ground for Jalen Knighton. On first down, here is Preston Stone. Looking downfield, wide open is Dixon. Have yourself a day, Moochie Dixon. 3 catches, 115 yards, and 3 touchdowns. It's the modern-day Randy Moss stat line, and we are again within 2 scores. Moochie Dixon, who I think is their 5th or 6th highest-rated receiver, is the only reason why these guys are still in the game right now. Poor coverage in the back end. That again was on Grant, who has had a great game, but he was a little bit behind Dixon, and he's able to outrun him to the house. 35-21 late in the 3rd. Daniels scrambling with it on 3rd and 5, and he will run for the first down. With how well he's thrown the ball, he hasn't been needed a lot as a runner, but he's had some good ones. That'll wrap up the 3rd. 35-21, Kansas with the lead. We still have not been able to run the ball. Devin Neal still has single-digit rushing yards going into the 4th, and it still doesn't matter because Jalen Daniels is dotting up this defense right now. We'll see if Kansas can hang on here over these last 10 minutes to win this game and have a date with Oregon in the second round. 2nd and 10, Devin Neal gets maybe a yard. That's honestly one of his better runs today. I think his yards per carry has gone up. 3rd and 9. Oh, that was a bad throw. Jalen Daniels has not had any of those today. But that was dangerous. He didn't put enough loft on that pass for Grimm. Should have been intercepted. SMU back with it. They can make it a one-score game here. It's Jalen Knighton gets by the defensive end. And he gets a first down wrapped up by Grant and Purdy. Marvin Grant always seems to be at the end of these run plays. He is such a good run defender at that safety position. On first down, Stone looking downfield. Nice throw and catch. That goes for another first down. This time it's hauled in by Jordan Hudson. SMU's looking good on this drive. A touchdown makes it a one-score game. Inside the 40, they'll go with a read option. And Dakaius Brinkley smothers him in the backfield. His third tackle for loss of the day. 3rd and 5, a first down conversion here. That one is hauled in by Keyshawn Smith. Drive keeps going. Clock is ticking, though, around 7 minutes to go. Empty here on first down. Stone, pump fake. He is sacked. Dylan Brooks is home for the second Kansas sack of the afternoon. And that'll go for a loss of 4. Now it is a 3rd down with around 6 minutes to go. Receiver in motion. Fake jet sweep. Play action. Stone goes short. It's caught for a first down. Nice move by Keyshawn Smith, who gets it to the 5. But this clock is continuing to wind down. Under 5 minutes to go. These guys are not really in a hurry. 2nd and goal. It's the running back Knighton in motion behind the line of scrimmage. Breaks the tackle from Bryant, and he is wrapped up in the end zone for a touchdown. It is a one-score game. 35-28. The door is wide open for the Mustangs, and now Kansas is going to have to choose some clock, which might be an issue because, A, our offense has not been very good in the second half, minus the 60-yard touchdown by Lawrence Arnold, and obviously we have not been able to run the ball at all. Devin Neal still has single-digit rushing yards. So that brings us to the biggest possession of the game. SMU should have gone for 2 here, by the way. When you're down by 8, go for 2. That was a bad decision. Regardless, Kansas has it back. Can they run the ball and win this game? Devin Neal up the middle, doubles his rushing yardage total. He gets 9 or 10. That still was not a good run, though. He should have cut to the outside. But hey, it's something. 3rd and inches, RPO. First down for Devin Neal. And finally, the run game looks competent. 3rd and 6 now for Kansas, nearing the 2-minute mark. Biggest play of the game and maybe the season so far. Is it going to be a run or a throw? Do you put it in the hands of Neal or Daniels? With Neal in motion, it's going to be a pass. Daniels looking sideline. Caught for a first down by Luke Grimm. Huge play for Kansas. Now he is out of bounds, which stops the clock. But still, massive first down as it's a handoff to the left side for Devin Neal. He's got a 1st and more with space into the red zone. Whoop! Whoop! Touchdown! What a play by Devin Neal! And Kansas is up by 2 scores with 2 minutes to go. A 36-yard touchdown for Devin Neal. And yes, he has had his worst game of the year. But he also might have just won us this game. A super impressive run from Neal, who finally gets some blocking here to the left side. And then from there, should have been brought down at around the 10. But as you can see, 1, 2, 3. A pair of excellent moves from Devin Neal. And it's now 42-28. And now SMU is living by a prayer. 2nd and 1. Here's R.J. Maryland with the first down. He's wrapped up out of bounds by Damani Maxson. There's got to be a sense of urgency. They've got to be looking here for the sidelines as it's a 2nd and 10. Here is Stone looking downfield. An impressive throw and catch for the first down. And they're going to call the timeout. I don't agree with that. Their run defense has been good to where you want to keep those timeouts and maybe trust your defense. Nice play up the middle. That is going to go for a first down reception for Jalen Knighton. And they call another timeout, especially after like first downs where the clock stops. I don't get it. 2nd and 10. Screen for Dixon. Doesn't get much. That's his first catch that did not result in a touchdown, by the way. And it is now a 3rd and 7 under a minute to play. Here is Stone under pressure. He is sacked! And they've got to get to the line quickly here on 4th down. Dakaius Brinkley and Javier Derritt with the sack, and this is it. Kansas has got to have as many guys back as possible. Rush 4, everybody else go back. Stone looking for the end zone. Broken up by Kobe Bryant, and that'll do it. The Kansas Jayhawks march into Dallas in the program's first ever college football playoff game, and they will defeat SMU 42-28 and have a date set with top-ranked, undefeated Oregon in the 2nd round. Jalen Daniels puts on a show. A season high 4 passing touchdowns. He adds another on the ground with over 350 all-purpose yards. And on a day where we could not run the ball at all for 3.5 quarters, the offense was still able to get things going. Defensively, I thought we were quite solid as well. Moochie Dixon was obviously fantastic. SMU still scored 28 points. Preston Stone had an impressive second half, but they had to play from behind. We took the lead early in the second quarter, and from there, we were in control the rest of the way. Overall, a great team win. SMU had more yards of team offense, which I find kind of interesting. Obviously, we didn't really run the ball well, but the passing game was brilliant. The defense did what they needed to. But again, I thought Preston Stone had a good second half. He was horrible in the first half, and then he was a completely different player out of the locker room. But with that big of a deficit, it was just too little too late. SMU ran it well. Jalen Knighton had a good game, 132 yards and a score through the air. Moochie Dixon was tremendous, 4 for 118 and 3. But they didn't get enough out of their defense. Now, I will give their run defense a ton of credit. They did what no team has been able to do all year and stop Devin Neal, or at least stop him for 3.5 quarters. The pass defense, though, was really bad. I thought their secondary, those guys couldn't tackle to save their lives. I mean, it was like they were running around with blindfolds out there at times. Jalen Daniels was awesome, 17 of 26, 338, 4 touchdowns, pushing the ball downfield, made some of his best throws of the year. Devin Neal, not his day. Going into that last drive, he still had single-digit rushing yards, but on that last possession, finally looked good, and of course had the game-clinching touchdown. Through the air, 7 for 81 and a touchdown for Luke Graham. Quentin Skinner, 3 for 123 and 2, 94 yards after the catch. Arnold, 2 for 115, 70 yards after the catch, and they all scored. Neal had 3 catches for 7 yards. He's usually an asset in the passing game. Today, not so much. Defensively, we did what we needed to. It wasn't a perfect game, but Tykius Brinkley played really well. Damani Maxson, Kobe Bryant, Marvin Grant, the usual suspects delivered. We have won a playoff game, and no matter what happens the rest of the year, this is such a major accomplishment. Recruits are going to notice this for sure. And hopefully we can continue to shock the world. I don't think I'm going to take the defensive coordinator job at Vanderbilt after this game. Had we lost, maybe it would have been tempting. But since we won, I don't think it's going to happen. Let's simulate the week. Tykius Brinkley wins the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. And of course, we are headed to the Rose Bowl to face off against number 1, unbeaten, 13-0, Big 10 champion Oregon. My 2 teams are facing off. My heart hurts. We've got some other really fun matchups in the second round, but first I want to recap all of the bowl games that have happened. Most of the bowl games have been completed. The highlights include USC beating Fresno State. App State demolishes Rice. What a disastrous end of the year for Rice. NC State was a minute away from making the college football playoff and probably getting a first-round bye. They lose to 6-6 ECU in the Fenway Bowl. Maybe they didn't deserve to make it. Texas State with an impressive win. Liberty with an impressive win after their near Conference USA Championship comeback. UCF loses to Indiana. Very successful season for the Hoosiers. I think they finished with 9 wins. Clemson puts up 59 on North Texas. Purdue with a strong win over Buffalo. Texas Tech beats Syracuse. Big 12 supremacy. Illinois beats TCU. Alabama over Arizona in the Texas Bowl. Kansas State over Memphis. I can't say Big 12 supremacy here because it's Kansas State. Hey, Iowa State with a big win over Hawaii in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. And that brings us to our remaining games. Got some fun matchups around the country. The Pop-Tarts Bowl with the Pop-Tart Man coming up. That's fun. Players of the week overall, we've got Jace Brown for Kansas State, and then, of course, defensively, Will Johnson with the 3 interceptions. In terms of college football playoff performances, Tykius Brinkley wins it for our conference, and then in the SEC, both Nick Scorton and Isaiah Bond win the offensive and defensive players of the week, respectfully. That's wrong English. Respectively, not respectfully. I don't think Nick Scorton and Isaiah Bond were very respectful to their opponents. Into the second round now. Texas and Miami at the Peach Bowl. Kansas and Oregon at the Rose Bowl. Michigan and Utah at the Sugar Bowl. And then Ohio State and Georgia at the Fiesta Bowl. We've got some fun matchups coming up. And of course for us, we're the big underdog now. We're the Cinderella team at this point, looking to shock the world against the clear national title favorite in Oregon. That'll wrap up the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out. Rock chalk.